All right, everybody. It's me. I'm Wild Bill, my buddy Chad over on the split screen. What is happening, Mr. Chad?
A lot's been going on since the last time we made a video. I'm glad
Yes.
to be back. So we have um, different games to talk about. Um, More, about injured players coming back and close games,
Lots
man.
of injuries. Lots of
Lots of
injuries.
injuries, yeah. But I would like to talk about the Panthers game first, and then we'll get into the other stuff that we have highlighted there on your paperwork there.
Oh, yeah.
Um, these close games, Bill, um, driving me nuts. I
Yeah.
trying to been figure it out by listening to other YouTubers and media. Why does this team like to play close games when they just? With me, they should just be able to hit the throttle and kill these teams like the Panthers. And I've been thinking about it, a couple of scenarios. And one scenario is you are going to get everybody's best shot because you are the standard. Two, they've been playing a lot of games, a lot more games than other teams in the last 5 years. I don't know what else to tell you besides then they've had injuries, so they've had to redo their roster, redo mindset of what they're going to do. Do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts on why they're so close these games?
I think after watching, especially this year, I think I've figured it out. I mean, I said from the beginning, before preseason even, I thought we were going to go undefeated this season. I said there was a slight chance we were gonna lose one or two games. We lost one game. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to kill our season. Everybody's already trying to count the Chiefs out from even going to the super or going to the playoffs. Seriously, 10-1. It's not like we lost 5 out of 10. You know, we lost one game. One. That doesn't you can't count the Chiefs out. No,
No,
you try to put Mahomes in the corner. He's like, here, hold my cheeseburger. Let's do this. Come on.
yeah, I think in their mind, and special teams like Detroit, that's doing real good. It's never won a Super Bowl.
No.
Cincinnati now, I don't know if they'll even make the playoffs. Never won a Super Bowl. Um, Buffalo Bills went 4 times in the '90s. Bill didn't win a Super Bowl, and they just won their Super Bowl a couple of weeks ago against us. We never bring out the kitchen sink, everything out in the kitchen sink in a game against them. When we play in the playoffs, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so go ahead.
I was going to say that. I also think that I figured out their gameplay. I think that the first half of the game is them dissecting the other team's game and how they're playing, and then they figure everything out by halftime. Sometimes sooner, sometimes a little bit later. But as soon as they figure it out, bam, that switch is flipped, and they start doing everything to beat the other team's weaknesses.
I
So,
I would, yeah, yeah. I play a
I
little
mean,
bit up. Understand?
yeah, I really think
Because
that's what they're doing.
yeah, I want to take what you're saying. I think they not only do that for one game. I didn't think they do that through the season. I think they
Yeah,
play
throughout the
very,
entire season.
yeah, like Buffalo when they play the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they show everything because when the playoffs comes, there's a different mindset, different philosophy they play with.
Yeah. Well, also when they get to those more important playoff games and then the Super Bowl, they have a completely different playbook. I mean, they'll play a lot of the same plays, but they pull out, the gold playbook. They pull out the big plays. They pull out, don't hold back. Here we go. Here we go. And I mean, they go. I mean, that's how they play in after the regular season, and then go to a playoffs and then the Super Bowl. it's like a whole different team. It's like you give them that special sauce, that extra fire, that extra go juice, and they're gone.
Yeah. So how that relates to this Panthers game is that I do think they get a little bit bored too. Also, another thing I want to probably check off there, why they play these close games, and they're getting everybody's best shot. But there are some things I am concerned about, and left tackle is one of them. Cornerback isn't one of them, and the pass rush. So those things you got to work out. I'm not saying they don't have anything to work on, because they do.
Well, they do, especially with so many players being out. With injuries. They've had a lot to. They've had a huge amount to overcome and to readjust. I mean, they've had so much work to do to change how everything goes with all their players. I mean, when you're used to having somebody in that specific spot, and then you have a completely new player, that throws everything into a mess. I mean, that's just taking a 6-foot monkey wrench and saying right in the middle of it. It just messes up everything. That changes the flow of how y'all play the game. I mean,
yeah,
it completely changes the feel of the game for a lot of the players, because it's somebody different, and they got to adjust to that.
Right.
So,
it's evident. I mean, the Panthers game, the last second field goal, if you give Patrick Mahomes the ball and you're within one score, 99% chance they're going to pull a win out of that. But
yeah,
I would like to see, a 10-point win or a 14-point win without having to do that every time.
Yeah, there was a thing where I just saw on one article where they had on clutch key game moments. Mahomes is now 7-7 on those moments where they've come back from behind and scored. He's now 7-7 on them. So they didn't say if it was 7 this year or it was just the last 7 in a row. I don't remember what it was.
Well, he's definitely going to break a record on that one. I tell you, the way they're keeping on going.
Man, they are breaking records left and right. Kelsey is just knocking down records, and he's like, even being double teamed and triple teamed, he's still breaking records. He's not being able to get all the plays that he was getting before, but that's because he's being double and triple teamed all the time. Breakaway is he being able to get the ball.
Yeah.
So, and that sucks for him. But I mean, now that we are getting Pacheco and Omenihu back for this next game, that's going to open him up more to be able to get the ball, I hope, because they all know they got to double team those guys too. So are you going to double team Pacheco, Omenihu, and Kelsey all at the same time? You don't have enough people. So
Pacheco's come back, and he's going to be a great addition to the running back room.
Absolutely.
And Omenihu, we need that pass rush. That's a big issue. It's not enough sacks, not enough negative plays. And you got to start making those again, and that way people aren't throwing the ball all over the yard on you. So that's what's happening, is they have no pass rush. I think once he's back in, and Spags will make adjustments on that.
Yeah.
And then I think you throw Pacheco back in there, and the that's my question is who's going to be in the running backs? I think they're going to only go with 3 or 4. So Kareem Hunt's probably going to stay.
Yeah.
And then you got Pacheco. Now, is P. Ryan going to stay or is Baby Thor, Steele, call him Baby Thor, is he going to stay? And I would say P. Ryan over him. P. Ryan's a great third down back. He makes some big plays. He's starting to get some timing with Mahomes now.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I don't want any of them to go. I mean, I'd like to be able to have everybody stay and just that everybody take turns out on the field if we can. I don't know. I really, honestly, at this point, I have no idea what they're going to do because of, so many repeat injuries and everything. I mean, are they going to keep them on and have them in reserve, or are they going to keep them on the sideline ready to go to, to swap out with Pacheco and,
no, Kareem Hunt and Pacheco are your top 2 backs. I'll just tell you that right now. Yeah. It's between P. Ryan and Steele, I think, for the third position. And I just say take P. Ryan because he's he can make plays passing. He's a little bit more nimble and more shifty of a back, and he gets the first downs. So
yeah.
So you talk about the running backs. Holiday Brown will make a difference. He's supposedly coming Christmas time, and that'll be good. So that's another, like you're talking about, dilemma of who's the receivers then,
Yeah.
But the Panthers game, one thing the big run by Patrick Mahomes to, put us in a position to win that game.
Yeah.
And I get so tired of listening to commentators. In fact, what I'm trying to get at is I listen to different, like the last 4 or 5 minutes, I listen to like the Panthers announcers talk. And they're like talking like, well, the only reason they don't tackle him is because they don't want to get the 15-yard penalties right on the sideline. You're not looking at what I see. What I see is 2 good blocks, and it made it, not my fault. They're not tackling him, or not Patrick's fault, So when he's running when he's running out, they're going, oh my, is he going to throw it, or is he going to pass it? Because he can pass it on a run at all different angles. And so when Watson hits that one on the right, and then he goes to the other one, hits him on the left, he leaves a big old gap, and he runs right down the line. So he can run out. That's his choice if he wants to run out of bounds or not. I would too, even as a running back. I'll run down if I want to run out. I can run out and be safe. Because I don't want to take it. Of course, he doesn't want to take a hit, but that's not why he makes the big runs. He makes the big runs because they don't know what he's going to do. And they underestimate his dad bod, as you put it, right? Dad bod?
Yeah, it's dad bod.
His dad bod to get around the corner there. So,
man, when he laid that guy out in the end zone, running that ball in for a touchdown, his shoulder blocked him and just put him on the ground. I was like, yeah!
49ers game.
That was so nice. That was so nice. Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I laughed. I laughed so hard. I couldn't help it. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's what makes him great. He can run it if he needs to. He's not going to be Lamar Jackson and run it every other play, and he's not that type. He's a quarterback that can throw everywhere. So
yeah.
You have a list of the left tackle there. that we got that will help us with protecting Patrick Mahomes' left side. CJ, or is it CJ? CJ
DJ
Humphries.
Humphreys. Yeah.
Yeah, DJ.
Uh,
Got the dyslexic
Apparently,
there.
we
Got
just
them
got
too.
him from the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not really familiar with him. I hope he's good.
Better than what we got. I'll tell you that right now. He's going to make a difference.
So I hope he comes and is a great hope he's a great asset to the team. Yeah, it was so crazy with our kicker situation. Butker, he was out for the surgery to fix his injury. Then we got Schrader, and then now he's down with injury during practice, I guess. And now we just picked up Matt Wright. So, yeah,
A lot of injuries.
three kickers in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Good grief.
This team has been plagued with injuries since the get-go.
I mean, good grief. I mean, I just listing of all the injuries. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of the teams have had injuries, but I don't think any team has had more injuries of key players, of big players like the Chiefs have had this season.
Yeah.
And they're still 10-1. They lost one game out of the season. Everybody's trying to already count them out. Big deal. It's one game. I mean, yeah, I said from the beginning, I really expected us to go undefeated the whole season and win the Super Bowl. Well, we lost one game. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. I mean, I was hoping, but, I guarantee without all the injuries, we would have won that game.
Yeah, and like I said, we're very vanilla when we play the Buffalo Bills, wherever. And look, it would be cool if they could go undefeated, win the Super Bowl, but the Patriots went undefeated and then they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just think it takes all the pressure off. Now this monkey's off their back. Going undefeated. No, now let's just worry about getting better and getting ready for the playoffs.
That's true.
So,
I with all the trash talk and all the garbage that's being spouted by the other teams and everybody over that loss, apparently the other team's head coach sent a nasty letter to coach, saying, he's not a real coach and he needs to just retire and watch the game from the couch and so on and so forth. I don't know what all was said. That's just what I saw online on the article.
Buffalo coach sent that to Andy Reid?
Apparently, that's what I saw, and there was a couple articles about
Sean McDermott.
But yeah, telling coach to just go home and watch on the TV, and they need a real coach in there. Maybe I could take your place, haha. So yeah, that's low class. If that actually happened, that's really low class.
Well, if that's true, he just needs to get a couple buses, right, and drive it around their stadium and celebrate their regular season Super Bowl. I mean, you do it every time you win, but then you just like Buffalo always does, they choke. They're the choke artist of the century, man. Jim Kelly 4 times, Josh Allen, and it doesn't even have to be us. Buffalo got beat by Cincinnati a couple years ago, got blown out at their home stadium. I mean, blown out, got the brakes beat off of them. He hasn't won jack crap. So if he's really saying that, it's out of purely frustration and I can't win the big one. Well,
he's jealous.
You just want to create bulletin. Go ahead, keep talking crap because that's what they feed off of. And you've seen Kelsey clap at the end like, okay, we'll see you in the playoffs. We win in the playoffs every time.
I hope we see him in the playoffs. And oh my God, I hope they use this one to just wipe them all over the field and decimate them from the get-go. I really hope they do that this time.
And and they'll play Josh Allen different. They'll put a spy on him and they'll knock him into oblivion. They'll hit him hard. They just have a different mentality, in the playoffs.
Yep.
Why would he sure doesn't? I hope that's just made up because I'm hoping that he's not really saying that to Andy Reid. That's kind of dumb if he is.
Yeah, I saw three different things online about it, and I was like, wow, if that's true, that's messed up. So I'm like, yeah, I think the Chiefs will definitely have a response for that one. And we'll see you next.
And all that stuff right there is, Cincinnati and Buffalo. Those are the two main teams. Sometimes it's Baltimore, but Baltimore, I don't hear them talking like that all the time. But those, the Bills and the bungholes always talking crap, saying, we're better, we're better, we're better. And then their fans saying that we have to have the refs help us out. Let me tell you, let me tell you something. I think that the refs help you stay in games. That's what I think. What I've seen. They miss calls on both sides, but there are times where they keep teams in the game with Kansas City. I mean, this Panthers game, they definitely kept them in the game.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of holding calls that weren't called. That should have been called. I mean, you said yourself that you saw quite a few calls that should have been called.
Jones being held.
Chris Jones.
Strap a saddle on that boy's back and ride him because that's what they do with him and Kelsey. They hold him all the time, and it's like they'll keep doing it as long as they can get away with it. And they definitely Chris Jones. They put him in a full Nelson and throw him on the ground.
Well, there were several of our receivers that should have been. It was blatant, obvious pass interference, and that wasn't called.
There's one on Juju Smith-Schuster that's called.
That's pathetic. I mean, that's blatantly obvious, and they don't call it. Come on.
And they were holding Hopkins, holding him down on the sideline there, wasn't called. If I was a good editor, like I can pull up film and stuff, I can do the same thing all these other fan bases are doing and say, oh, look at that holding call. What about that? What about this? We all can do that, man.
Yeah. So. And it's nothing against the refs that are, doing their job properly. But it just feels like some of these refs are just not doing a proper job like they should. I mean, I'll give it to them. We're only human. We're gonna make some mistakes. We're gonna miss calls, and we're gonna make some bad calls now and then. But it just seems like this is just excessive at this point.
Well, I'm to the point where I'm so used to it. Whether we win, lose, it's the Chiefs' fault. If we win, it's the Chiefs' fault from the outside. So,
yeah.
So, anyways, so we got a big game coming up, Raider Week, Friday, 3 p.m. Kind of a weird time, but it's because of the holidays here. So.
Yeah. What are the Raiders this year so far, win-wise?
Man, I think they've won 2 or 3 games. They haven't won they're not. It's us, Chargers.
What is the Raiders' record?
Last Sunday, the Raiders played.
It's all right. Let's hear the audio on it. That's cool. And I just watched them play the Broncos, and I'm so sick of the Broncos. But what do you do? What does it say?
Look, I had to go to NFL. They're 2-9.
Yeah.
2-9. Oh my goodness. I didn't think they were that bad. Man.
Yeah. Now keep in mind the Panthers. The two of the wins that Panthers had is the Raiders. They beat the Raiders. I'm trying to think of who else the Panthers beat, but that was one of their wins. Was the Raiders.
Okay.
So this game, Bill, there's no excuse. We should win by more than one score. I mean, with all these players back, and we should be look. Kansas City should be getting pissed off with all this bullcrap talk. It's time for them to get pissed off. I mean, that's what makes you play better. You need a lot of fire underneath their butt. Yeah. I think they were sleepwalking through the Panthers game. So I think that's part of the problem. So we have. I'm going to predict that they win by 10 to 11 points. So.
Well, I'm going to say at least 2 touchdowns, and I don't think we're going to be playing. I mean, I really don't think we're going to play all of our key players the whole game. I mean, I don't think we should not take it seriously, but I don't think we're going to need to have everybody out there the whole time.
Well, remember what they did on Christmas last year? The Raiders came in and we threw a pick 6, and then we fumbled it, and he scored another touchdown.
Yeah.
And their offense didn't even score any points in the second half, and they barely beat us. So, I mean, we got to remember that type of thing, man. You just can't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to, hand it to them, but,
Not this time, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, you gotta start protecting a guy. That's part of his problem. He's running all the plays.
God, he's getting hit hard at times. He's got to get protected. When he's 5 or 6 times a game or more, there's a problem.
He's getting hit, and then he got sacked 5 times. In the Panthers game, on a shitty team that shouldn't even be able to touch him like that.
Yeah.
And
it's ridiculous. And
here's one way to do it, Bill. Run the crap out of that ball. If you are moving the ball 5, 6 times or 5 or 6 yards a crack, keep running it. Because eventually you're going to break a big one up. You put Kareem Hunt in there and you run it. Fake pass, pass every now and then. And then you put Pacheco in there with more speed.
Yep.
Hunt will wear him out, and then Hunt will maybe break one open. You never know.
Yep.
So, so they got to protect him. I think that's the biggest key. There's 2 big keys here. We got to get to their quarterback and protect our quarterback, and then that makes the game like 10 times easier.
Oh yeah.
So you have anything on your notes there that you want to bring up?
No. Well, one last thing I wanted to bring up. What do you think about Mahomes' ankle holding up? You think he's going to be all right?
I think he's at 90%. I think he's okay so far. He wasn't gimping on it too much last game. But again, if they don't protect him, he's going to get hurt.
That's what I'm saying. He's been hit enough, and I'm just so surprised that somebody hasn't just flopped on him, rolled on him, and just hurt that ankle again.
Yeah.
So that's one of my concerns. I'm like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So,
well, subscribe, please subscribe, tell your friends about us, and we need to get up to 50 subscribers so we can do Q&As.
Yep.
And we might have some guests come on. You show interest, want to come on and chat football with us, that'd be a very good possibility. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so we're just a little over the halfway point in the season. 10-1, and the rest of the season, there could be a loss anywhere. But I would say the two main games. In fact, let me pull up the schedule here, Bill, before we go off here, and you can tell me what you think about each of these games. Let me pull it up here on my Google here. Chiefs schedule.
The Chiefs won 30-27 last Sunday against the Panthers.
Okay, so you got the Raiders coming up. That should be a win, right? And you're saying 2 touchdowns. I'm saying anywhere from 10 to 14 as well. I'm going to go with 10 points. The Chargers at home, that should be a win. And then you play the Browns. They got a good defense, but that should be a win. Now, these next 2 games that I'm going to bring up are the ones that you really need to worry about. And that's the Texans at home on December 22nd or December 21st, a 1 p.m. game. And I noticed that the 1 p.m. games, there's a couple of those. That's the Browns and Texans. They may move the Texans. They may flex that one back because those are 2 good teams. That's one to watch out for. And then also December 25th on Christmas is at the Steelers. That's a game to watch out for. That's a playoff team. That's a possible loss L there. I would say, and then after that you have the Broncos at Denver. So Denver place is tough, and so I would think those last 3 you could finish out the season with no losses, but out of all those games, Bill, which one do you think we would lose or losses to?
I'm not really sure. I pretty much agree with you. I don't think there's there's always a chance of us losing the game. There's always a chance. We always got to keep on the toes of the Broncos because the Broncos can be at 0-10, and they're still going to find a way to give us a good fight. So, really, I don't think on any of them. We can't rest on any of them really. I just think that the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are gonna. I don't think they have quite enough for us to beat us, but we still got to watch out for them. So,
I think
go ahead.
Let's go by percentage points. Each game down here. I think the Raiders game is always like 10% chance we can lose that game.
Yeah. The Raiders are 2-9. I really don't see us losing that game. I'm going to give maybe 10% chance of winning, but that's being generous.
Right. Chargers, I'm going to give them a little higher. They're in playoff contentions too. They're right behind us. I would say, 30% chance of winning. But if we play like we're supposed to, we should be okay.
Let's see. This one has 34 to 66% chance. So they're saying Chargers have a 34% chance. when they're at 66% chance. I don't think the Chargers even have that high. I don't think it's even close to 20, but you know, I'm not gonna give it to them either. So
Right. So the Browns, I think they have 5% chance to win.
yeah, let's see. Browns are.
Browns have a low record too.
Okay, the Browns are 3-8, so they're not doing good at all either.
Yeah, I think they're 5%.
Yeah, 5, maybe 10. I mean, that's bad. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more worried about Texans. They're 7-5.
Yeah, I give them 45% right there. I don't, and that's just because they're going to come out and give us a best shot. But
yeah,
that's all I'm going to give them.
You always got to worry about the Bills. They're 9-2 right now. But I mean, out of everybody, nobody else is 10-1. Nobody's even close.
Steelers are 7.
I mean, the Bills are 9-2. That's the closest one.
Yeah, but we don't. I'm just looking at the on record. Honestly, you know, out of all three of those teams, Denver, Steelers, Texans, I'm more worried about the Broncos because they just want to kill us. They just, you know, they hate us.
Yeah, Broncos are 7-5. Well, not too many people like the jackasses, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
With everybody coming back, like, you know, and we start protecting Patrick Mahomes and getting some little pass rush on there, we should pull these games out. And I feel sometimes, I don't know about you, Bill, but sometimes I feel like we play better on the road. I don't know. I may be wrong.
Sometimes, I mean, when we get out on the roads, we play different. I mean, when we're at home at Arrowhead, we're more comfortable, and we know the field. When they get out there and play somewhere else, you know, it just changes everything up. So
it makes them more on their toes, I think.
Yeah. So I think it's a different mindset when you're at home and when you're away. It's a completely different mindset. So.
Right. Well, I think this is a good start back, and we'll drop another video after the Chiefs hopefully pull out this victory. I think they will. I think, like I said, I think they win by 11 points.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to stick with 11. You got them by 14.
Yeah, I'd say at least 14.
Nice. All right, well.
I mean, maybe just wishful thinking, but I think we're going to get them by, I mean, at least 10. At least 10. I'm thinking 14, but at least 10.
Right, 2-score game. That's where I would like to feel more comfortable. It'd be nicer if it's more, though. Then we can do a victory lap around our stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So, any final thoughts before we close? Like I said, I think that's good for me. I think I just can't wait till Friday for the game.
Yeah. I'm ready. We've just had a lot of technical difficulties. I mean, I've been working for the last few hours trying to get everything set up to record, and nothing was wanting to work. So I just went back to old school and just using the laptop and webcam because my board isn't working right. My headphones quit working. I give up.
Yeah, it's one of those days, but we got to
get back. Wonder why we drink so much. I'm telling you.
And that Jack and Coke will come in handy. So.
Actually, I got a fresh new bottle of Crown
Shows have
Apple
fun.
I'm gonna try. So
Yeah, that sounds good. But yeah, go Chiefs! I'm ready. I can't wait. So again, subscribe, like, and
yes,
any comments, any questions, shoot us
just go Chiefs, go Chiefs, kick 'em,
shoot us a message.
kick
So
'em all, get
yeah.
'em.
All right. Until next time, Bill.
Till next time, everybody, just give us a like, subscribe, share our videos, help us get out there, and let us know if you want to join us on our podcast. Because always looking for extra people to come in and maybe help us give a different point of view or whatever. I mean, because if you're a fan of a different team and we're getting ready to play it, come on up. We'll trash talk each other and have some fun with it. So, it's all good here. We're not going to take anything personally, and I hope you don't either. So, because it's just us two guys chatting about the Chiefs. So that's what we're all about. So, yeah, just give us a shout, everybody. Leave us a message. Still waiting. Let us know what you think about the next game, and if we're going to win, if we're going to lose, and what do you think the score will be. And if you go ahead and leave a comment, I just might be happy enough to pick out a person to send a Chiefs flag to or something. So send you some swag. So that's it. That's it for me. Anything for you?
Go Chiefs and enjoy the game and have a good Thanksgiving. We'll
Absolutely. Happy birthday, everybody. Be thankful for what we have. As I found out a year and a half ago when I got hit by a drunk driver, it could be over at any time. So be strong, be safe, take care of everybody. See y'all next time.